Hello fourth graders, Miss A here. For today's lesson we're going to be talking about fractions. What are fractions and what comes to mind when you hear the word fractions? So a fraction is a part of a whole. A part of a whole meaning you have a total set, whatever part is taken out, shaded, grouped together is a fraction of the whole. A fraction has two parts, a numerator and a denominator. The numerator is the number of parts that are being shaded, grouped, taken away, and while the denominator is the total number of parts. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at fractions. Now fourth graders, remember a fraction is a part of a whole. Here we have a piece of bread representing a whole because this, as you can see, this is our manipulative representing 1. So in a fraction, this is considered 1 out of 1 because they're one part of one whole. Now, when we're talking about fractions, we know that the top is the number of parts being shaded or taken away, while the bottom piece is the total number of parts. So let's go ahead and give ourselves a half. How would I do that? I would go ahead and cut down the middle of bread. Now I have turned my whole into 2 pieces. So the total number of parts that I have now is 2. If I were to eat 1 piece of bread from the 2 pieces, my fraction would look like this, meaning I have eaten 1/2 or I have a half left. Now, we can take this a step further by cutting each half into another half. By cutting the halves into other halves, we have created 1, 2, 3, 4 parts, making each piece 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. When we add these pieces all together, they then create one whole. Once again, a fraction is just a part of a whole. So fourth graders, today we have a word problem. Let's go ahead and first read our word problem of the day. It says, Liv has 12 pieces of gum. She decides to give 2/3 of her gum away. How many pieces of gum did Liv give away? Now before we go ahead and get started, we're going to go ahead and work this problem using 2 different strategies. We're going to use a linear model, or a number line, and our multiplication table. So let's first go ahead and read our problem and see what it is we're trying to figure out. So we know that Liv has how many pieces of gum? Right, she has 12 pieces of gum. She decides to give 2/3 of her gum away. Now, 2/3 is the fraction of number of pieces that she's going to give away. What we're looking for are the number of pieces of gum that Liv gives away. So, when we look at the fraction, we know that she's giving how much? 2/3. We know that there are a total of 12 pieces of gum. So would our 12 pieces of gum be the numerator or the denominator? We know that the numerator is the number of pieces that are going to be given away. So that's going to be our number that we're going to be looking for. And we know that 12 is the total, meaning the total number of pieces of gum. Now, 2/3 is equal to blank 12. We're looking to find the equivalence of 2/3 and whatever fraction we have on this side. Meaning 2/3 is going to be equal to this fraction here. Now we know this because this is the number that she's giving away. So we know that 2/3 of 12 is going to be given away. So what we find out here is going to be the number of pieces of gum that Liv gives away. So we're going to go ahead and first find this problem out using a linear model or a number line. We first start with our number line going from 0 to 1 because we know that this is not an entire whole. this is only a fraction. This is a fraction of the whole. So we're going to go ahead and take it step by step, meaning we're going to multiply or divide our fractions by 2. Now, a common misconception when it comes to fractions is when we divide, we go ahead and divide half of the denominator. This is not true when it comes to fractions. When it comes to fractions, we reciprocal, meaning we flip the second fraction, so meaning we're going to multiply the denominator. So, in this case, 3 times 2 is 6. So our first is 1, 6. 2, 6. I'm sorry, 2, 6 goes here. 3, 6. 4, 6. Because if you see, we're multiplying 3 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So essentially, these are going to be equal. These will be equal. 4, 6, 5, 6, and 6, 6 is one whole. Now we're going to take it a step further because we don't have 6 pieces of gum. We have 12. So 6 times 2, 12. 2 twelfths, 3 twelfths, 4 twelfths. Because when we multiply 6, we get 12. When we multiply 2, we get 4. What comes after 4 twelfths? 5 twelfths, 6 twelfths, 7 twelfths, 8 twelfths. Because when we multiply 6 times 2, it's 12. 4 times 2 is 8. So 2/3 is equivalent to 4 6 and 8 twelfths. 9 twelfths, 10 twelfths, 11 twelfths, and 12 twelfths equal one whole. Now when we take a look at our number line, we know that these 3 are equivalent to each other. These 3 are equivalent to each other. Meaning 2/3 is equivalent or the same as 4 6. 4 6 is equivalent to 8 twelfths. Now, we know that she decides to give 2/3 away, meaning we're looking for 2/3. So, did she give 4 6 away? She did, but that is not our total number of pieces of gum. It is 12. So when we take a good look at our number line, we know that the number that she has given away is 8 out of 12, meaning Liv has given 8 pieces of gum away. Okay, 4th graders, so again we have the same problem, but we're going to go ahead and use our multiplication table as a strategy this time around. So let's go ahead and read our problem again. It says Liv has 12 pieces of gum. She decides to give 2/3 of her gum away. How many pieces of gum did Liv give away? So we know that our total is 12. She decides to give how much? 2/3 of what? 12. So we're looking for the number of pieces of gum Liv gave away. So the fractions that we're going to be working with are 2/3. We're going to go ahead and find the equal part to 2/3, knowing that our total or our whole, the total number of pieces in our whole is 12. So again, we're going to be looking for what's equivalent to 2/3, knowing that our denominator is 12. So what we're looking for is the number of pieces Liv decides to give away. Now, today we're going to work on this problem using a multiplication table. Now, when you think about a multiplication table, we know that we are counting either by 2s, by 3s, by 4s, and so on and so forth. We know that when we look at a multiplication table, the top is being multiplied by the bottom row, and together we create our multiplications. So 4 times 2, 8, 5 times 2, 10, 4 times 5, 20, and so forth and so on. So when we think about fractions, going from a smaller to a bigger, we're going to be multiplying it. So how many times do we multiply 3 to get to 12? 4. So we can go ahead and find 2/3 on the table by searching it on our the top, going from top to bottom, that column. So we find 2/3 here. So our fraction, in a sense, is 2/3. This is the fraction that we're working with. So, in a sense, this is our numerator, and this is our denominator. Because we know that the total number of parts is 3, and the numerator is 2. So we're looking for 2/3. 2/3 of the gum that Liv gave away. Now, we know that the total number of pieces of gum that Liv has is 12. So, where is our 12? The numerator or the denominator? It is our denominator. So, we're going to go ahead and go to the left and find the denominator, which is where? 12. Now, this is our denominator. Using our multiplication table, we can see that our numerator is 8. Meaning 2/3 is equivalent to 8/12. Now, we can also check our answer knowing that 3 divided by 12 is 4. We can cross multiply. 3 divided by 12 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So how many pieces of gum did Liv give away? She gave 8 pieces of gum away. Thanks for watching.